I want to get back to the June consumer inflation report. Prices up 2.7% in the last 12 months. And look who's here. Art Laffer joins the show today. Art, what effect, in your opinion, what effect are tariffs having on prices?
Almost zero, Stuart. I mean, almost zero, literally. The reason people export is to be able to earn the wherewithal to import. So if you import and those prices go up, your exports go down and those prices fall. This is called Lerner's symmetry theorem, and it should have virtually no effect whatsoever on overall inflation, period. That's theoretically. If you look at the numbers with the Smoot-Hawley tariff or with Nixon's tariffs, prices fell rather than rose. So I don't know what all this brouhaha is about inflation. The problem with tariffs is what it does to the real economy, what it does to standard of living. That's where the issue comes.
Well, listen to this. This is a headline from the New York Times, just coming across at us after the CPI report. It says, U.S. inflation accelerated in June as Trump's tariffs pushed up prices. The direct opposite of what you say.
What can I tell you?
New York Times.
They're wrong and I'm right. I'm sorry. I've got my PhD better than they do. I mean, this is my life's work. I've worked on international trade. Yeah. And 1 month, one way or the other, these things bobble and wiggle and have volatility. But believe me, it is not an inflation issue that comes with tariffs. It is an output production standard of living issue. That's real. But this is not.
President Trump says the Fed should cut interest rates sharply and do it now. He wants to put the Fed rate down 3 points. Art, is any cut justified at the moment?
Well, I think from the standpoint of what the Fed says it does and how it does what it does, yes, it is. I think Powell has been politically motivated in not dropping rates, given that he's trying to control rates. I don't think the Fed should try to control rates. And frankly, I think this whole brouhaha again is of Powell's making. And, you've got to remember, Stuart, that interest rates not only are a cost of doing business of borrowing, but they're also a revenue source for the holders of those bonds. So you've got a demand and a supply effect there on bonds. But at this stage in the process, I think rates should be about 1.5%, maybe 2% lower than they are right now, given how the Fed does its policy making. And, they're just picking a fight, and they shouldn't try to hurt the economy. They just shouldn't.
We're hearing that the president might want to appoint a shadow Federal Reserve Board to offer some critique of what Powell's doing. What do you say to that?
Only the shadow knows, Stuart. Just joking. Right. Yes, I do. I do think it makes sense. I think he should announce whom he's going to name as chairman and who are the people he's going to fill the vacant seats when they become vacant. I think that's a very good thing for full transparency for the markets. My wish is that the Fed were not independent. I think the administration should control the Fed. I think it was a mistake making that department independent of government policy and the administration. But that's the way it is. And they should just announce whom they're going to appoint so that everyone knows what's going to happen in the future and can make plans upon doing that. I mean, full transparency is really important.
In your opinion, can we get to 3% growth in the economy by the end of this year?
I think we can. I think this economy has an enormous amount of potential. I mean, with the passage of the big, beautiful bill, I love that BBB, but with that passage, it's now Trump is in control 100%. It is his economy. He's controlling tariffs. He's controlling the spending, the taxes. All of that's his. And I am very, very optimistic about the outcome of his control of the economy. I worry all the time, like everyone else does, who doesn't know what the future really has in store. But I think the potential for the U.S. economy is really very high, and that this could well be the transformational policies that would lead to a new era of prosperity, much the way Reagan did in the 1980s. I'm really optimistic about the future. And as a result, I've got to live a lot longer, Stuart. So at 85, I'm planning on another 30 or 40 years.
We're going to remember that you're the guy who introduced Ronald Reagan to the idea that tax cuts actually increase government revenue. That was your idea back in the late 1970s. And our prosperity, we should give you a lot of thanks for that. Thank you very much indeed, Art Laffer.
Well, thank you very much, sir. My pleasure. Thank you.
Keep it up, son. Keep it up. Art, you're all right. We'll see you again soon.